But Katie can't be here because she just adopted a little baby girl, and so she's hanging out at home right now. But as with insects, I mean, there are a lot of weed issues that that really trouble growers, and the ones that we've been focusing on for the past couple of years have been dodder, and an emerging weed problem has been moss. And so there was actually an intern student from Wheaton College who spent quite a bit of time out on the state bog doing a survey of the different moss species that we have out on state bog. And he was successful in identifying about 10 different moss species, which was a lot more than we thought we had. But by and large, the most prevalent ones continue to be sphagnum and haircap, which is a really good thing because those are the ones that we've been targeting our screening trials on those particular weeds. So again, moss is most likely becoming a problem due to climate shifts. And we're seeing it not only in cranberries, but moss is, becoming more of an issue in many other arenas, as well as agriculture. So that'll be certainly something we'll be continuing to work on. The good thing is that the IR4 herbicide that we looked at last year, flumioxazin, has very good efficacy against both dodder and moss. So that is in the queue. It is with IR4. The residue work has been done. So, if we're lucky, probably about another 2 years or so until we actually be able to use that compound. And nobody's really kind of talked about this, but whenever we do get new compounds, even though they'll be labeled for us to use, we are then confounded in being able to be using those products because we won't have MRLs, or maximum residue limits, to them, which is what allows us to take our fruit into export markets. But the catch-22 is that we really can't pursue the MRLs until we get the label. So there's always this lag period that goes on between when we get a new compound that's very important for the industry, be it a fungicide, an insecticide, an herbicide. We have these political barriers that we need to jump over. So some of the work that Katie and both Marty have been working on in conjunction with other folks in the industry has been this MRL subcommittee, where they are constantly reviewing and working with the consultants to make sure that we're prioritizing the right pesticides, because there's only a limited amount of money that can be spent to pursue these MRLs, and we want to make sure that we're targeting the correct pesticides for the industry. Just a couple minutes on dodder. Has been a problem for decades and decades, and we had a compound called Curb, which we were able to use under an emergency exemption in the late 90s into the early 2000s. It had cancer issues and we were not able to stay in the risk cup. The company has since reformulated that product, and it has been relabeled as not likely to be carcinogenic. And so we've been working with the company, doing efficacy and crop safety. Everything looks great. And we put in a Section 18 request, which is the emergency exemption, to be able to use it in 2019, because it looks like we probably won't have it registered till about 2020 or maybe even later. And Brian and Katie were up at MDAR, and we appreciate the support that we do get from MDAR, from the subcommittee, the Pesticide Board subcommittee. They supported our request. It will then go to EPA, and we're really hopeful that we'll have this very, very important tool for our growers in 2019. I also wanted to acknowledge MDAR's support in the specialty block grant program. With our previous pathologist, Dr. Salo Rojas, there was a grant, and we were able to provide our new pathologist with some excellent PCR equipment, and with a new biosafety hood and a new autoclave. So that kind of support between MDAR and the industry and the Cranberry station to be able to get us the kind of equipment that we need to help excellent research come out of this place, very, very important. So I wanted to acknowledge that, and thank you, Commissioner. So that's about all I have for today.